Hey everybody, welcome back to another Judgment commentary of Gakkougurashi, but today we're going to be checking out episodes 9 through 12, the final 4 episodes of this neat little series. But last time, on episodes 5 through 8, hoo boy, there were a few things that I should probably talk about. For one, it was revealed once and for all that Megumi, she's not around anymore. Yeah, and that was a very, very intense moment, a very well set up scene, finally giving us the reveal about Megumi's fate, because that's the thing, is that early on, like in the first couple episodes, I was already suspicious that Megumi might not be there. But they did such a good job, setting it up in a way where you kind of question it, like you're like, but they seem to be kind of interacting with her, more than just Yuki, so she probably is there, but no, she's not there. I can appreciate that, they seeded some doubt in there. They gave you the hint that she's not around anymore, but they make you question it, and they did a good job. But anyway, the scene where it was revealed that she is in fact deceased hit pretty hard, because that had to be one of the best transitions they ever did, because they just seamlessly changed that scene from the dilapidated horrorscape right to the more happy-go-lucky veneer that Yuki sees without me even really noticing it. And it's not super easy to do something like that. I mean, I was able to catch the windows being broken in episode 1 before there was even any hint that anything was wrong. And yet this one slipped right past me. But as one of you points out, there were actually a lot of really cool sound design things with it too, like that there was a few times where Yuki was passing Megumi some things, like a bottle and a radio, and if you listen closely, you can actually hear that when she passes them to Megumi, you hear the sound of them dropping to the floor, because she's not actually passing it to anybody. And they even tried to obscure that by having Yuki react to being called senpai at the same time. So yeah, dang, Gakkougurashi, it may not be the finest piece of media out there, but I gotta respect them for pulling off cool sound design stuff like that. I mean, really, I've been enjoying Gakkougurashi so far, just because, the tonal whiplash you get between the cutesy, wholesome moments just juxtapositioned to the true terror of what's going on it's compelling. And it can handle it in such a way where, yeah, they can seamlessly swap between them and you don't notice sometimes. And not only was the reveal of the fact that Megumi didn't make it tragic enough, they actually did show us the exact moment when it happened, how she just had to lock herself into her room to keep everybody else safe, and she presumably didn't make it out of there. As Yuki is just kicking and screaming, trying to break away from them so she could go in and let her out, but she nobly sacrificed herself. As the teacher, she felt it was her responsibility. But what kills my heart even more is that there was a short little scene at the beginning of one of the episodes where it showed what was presumably a little notebook that Megumi had, where she was writing stuff down as she was turning into a zombie. You could just see it gradually decline into, just scribbles on the page. But even before then, there's a mid-stage of her talking about, being hungry and being sorry about that. And it's just, that's always what has frightened me the most about zombies, is that mid-stage, that point where you're still you can still think and act and speak and even write, but you can feel yourself slipping away. That's terrifying. Deeply, deeply terrifying. Also, apparently they've stumbled upon some kind of weird governmental conspiracy, like that they set this school up as a fail-safe for an apocalyptic event so that the human race would continue on, or something like that. We don't got a lot of info on it just yet, but I assume we'll get a little bit more of that in these 4 episodes. Well, we'll see. We'll see what this conspiracy, is really about. Probably, I doubt they would just drop that and then just not give us, more details about the whole thing. But as far as chit-chat goes, I think that's about enough. So, let's just get right into episode 9. I do believe we have a beach episode of sorts coming up, so yeah, that should be fun for all of 5 minutes until the horror continues to set back in, but we'll deal with that once we get to it. So here we go, baby. Okay, to be clear, there actually has been more source material made after this anime. In fact, the manga was being produced all the way up through 2020. So, yeah, there's more. And I'm pretty sure the anime was made in 2015. And in 2015, only half of the manga had even been out yet, so I guess there would be more if they wanted to adapt it. Also, there was a live-action movie released in 2019. But that's another story. Okay. Well, everyone, looks like that's it for Gakkougurashi, or School Live, School Live, you know, whatever. That was actually really good. Honestly, genuinely. Like, these 12 episodes were good. It had a very unique execution and tone to it. Like I've said a trillion times, the way it can so seamlessly, you know, cut between the happy-go-lucky school slice of life and the horrifically awful zombie nightmare is something you just gotta respect. And it could mix it up sometimes where it could seamlessly fade in between, which were some of the best parts if you ask me, and then other times it would just snap into it at whim, you know, and just give you the whiplash. The way it balanced those two worked well in its favor. But yeah, sadly this came out in 2015 and there has not been any further adaptation as of yet, you know, several years later. And there is apparently more source material from the manga that they could adapt if they wanted to, you know, return to this, but I don't know how successful this was. This seems to be a relatively obscure series overall from what I can tell. Like, not really, I guess. I mean, its popularity on my anime list from what I can see is number 457, which is actually pretty dang good. 400,000 members, that's not too bad, especially for a series that only ran with 12 episodes in 2015. I don't know, I think they could find a reason to bring this back, and if they did, I wouldn't mind checking it out. I mean, obviously, it wouldn't have the punch of you finding out how horrible everything actually is, but, you know, that's something you deal with, you know, the entire time after the first 4 episodes. You do get a nice secondary gut punch when it's revealed that Megumi did in fact die. It's not to the same degree as you know, the first one you get at the beginning, but still, it hurt all the same. And yeah, we were left with, you know, questions unanswered. We don't know the state of the rest of the world. We don't know where the zombies came from. They even brought those questions up in this very thing. And we don't know what exactly the government, you know, had in mind when they were setting up this, this whole thing with the school where they were trying to make it this, you know, bunker for them to survive in, and why it just completely collapsed in on itself. Like, barely anybody lived. Like, in the school itself, there were only like 5 survivors and only 1 teacher. So yeah, there's still stuff we don't know, and maybe some of that would have been addressed in later editions of the manga. Maybe. And if they were, well, it'd be nice to see that happen someday. Because I did like this. I thought this was a very nice, unique little series. You know, just a nice short 12 episodes. It had, you know, a cool idea in mind, and it played it well. No mere slice of life, no mere horror anime. A nice, unique blend of the two. Taking the concept of trying to remain positive in the midst of such a terrible thing, and just really just weaving it into the terror of it all beautifully. Like, it really made you start to care about them just real quick, you know, when you're just seeing how happy they'd otherwise be in all of this, and even being able to remain upbeat about it through it all. Yeah, you start to really feel bad when you see them almost die and have to sit there and just suffer in agony. Ugh. So yeah, not the best anime around or anything, but if you're looking for something unique that can give you a bit of a surprise, well, this can do it. So yeah, I thought it was good. It was very well executed. Like I've said before, the sound design just sold it a lot of the times, you know? Like they genuinely sent some chills down my spine with it too. Like just how well they executed both halves of this series is like so good. I don't see very many slice of life things, but they seem to follow the beats of a slice of life, you know, pretty well. Maybe a little stereotypically, but you know, that's the kind of the idea. And even the horror stuff was genuinely unnerving. All the stuff about Megami still continuing to go back in and write that journal even when being full zombie. Like that is a nightmare. I will continue to be impressed by how well they played some of this here, so yeah, genuinely solid. So thank you, Moo Cookie, for commissioning this one on Patreon. They said initially, by the way, that their plan was that they just wanted to commission the first 4 just to, you know, get me, you know, just to see the shock factor, realizing how terrible it is, you know, with all the zombies and stuff, and then maybe move on to something else. But hey, I was interested in seeing the rest of this here, and I'm glad I did get to see the rest of it because there were definitely some dang good moments after that, for sure. I don't think it would be right, you know, to just see the first, like, 4 and then stop, or even just to see, like, the first 1 and see the surprise of it, because it still holds up and maintains that focus pretty well afterwards. Anyway, I guess that's it for now, guys, but thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed. Subscribe to be updated on more. I hope you guys enjoyed the Gakkougurashi series. I think this was a fun one for me to make. It was, yeah, certainly something that stands out to me. And all those of you who have been watching it, leaving your nice little comments, especially on the last video, there was a lot of interaction with that one. It kind of surprised me. I appreciate all of that, guys. Thank you very much. And next, Moo Cookie has something very different in mind, pretty much on the opposite end of the spectrum from this, probably, so, yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's it. Gakkougurashi good. Hope you guys had fun. I did, so, till we meet again, I will see you guys later!